They seem calm, controlled, always composed. But inside, Virgo carries a quiet storm, the kind that no one else can hear. They walk through life with a soft smile, doing everything right, fixing what's broken, and helping those who never even ask. To the world, they look unshakable, the person you can always count on, the one who holds everything together. But what the world doesn't see is how heavy that perfection feels. Every day, Virgo fights a battle between who they are and who they think they should be. They notice every flaw, every tiny mistake, every word they could have said differently. And even when they achieve something amazing, their mind whispers, "You could have done better." It's not pride, it's fear. Fear of disappointing, of being seen as imperfect, of losing control. So they stay quiet, they stay strong, and they stay tired. Behind that calm smile, Virgo hides a heart that just wants to rest, a heart that longs to be loved without having to earn it. Tonight, we'll look deeper into this hidden sadness, not to judge it, but to understand it. Because only by understanding the pain of perfection can we see the beauty that lives beneath it. Perfection, for Virgo, isn't just a goal, it's a survival instinct. It's the invisible armor they wear to feel safe in a chaotic world. From a young age, Virgo learns that being careful, responsible, and flawless earns them approval. Mistakes, on the other hand, bring discomfort, not only from others, but from their own inner voice. That voice whispers constantly, "You should have done better. You could have seen that coming." It's not cruel, it's terrified. Because for Virgo, imperfection feels like rejection, and rejection feels like loss of purpose. They notice every detail, every crack in the system, every flaw in themselves and others. It's their gift and their curse. While others move on, Virgo stays behind, trying to fix, refine, perfect. Not because they crave control, but because control feels like safety. And yet, no matter how much they fix, there's always something missing. The truth is, perfection doesn't exist. Not in people, not in life, not even in love. But Virgo keeps searching because imperfection feels like chaos, and chaos feels unbearable. This is the perfection trap. The more they strive to be flawless, the further they drift from peace. The more they try to earn love by being enough, the more they feel unworthy of it. It's a loop, a silent, exhausting loop that no one else can see. To outsiders, Virgo looks calm, competent, even serene. But inside, there's a constant buzzing, a background noise of anxiety that never truly fades. Sometimes they'll find brief moments of stillness, a clean room, a finished project, a task done right. For a few seconds, everything feels perfect. Then the voice returns, "Now what? What's next? Don't let it fall apart." Virgo's tragedy is not that they demand too much of others, it's that they demand too much of themselves. They carry the weight of impossible standards, mistaking them for responsibility, mistaking exhaustion for strength. But what Virgo must remember, and what life keeps trying to teach them, is that they were never meant to be perfect. They were meant to be human, to love and be loved in the messy, imperfect way that real life happens. The beauty of Virgo lies not in flawlessness, but in sincerity, in the quiet care they offer, in the details they notice, in the love they give without ever asking for credit. Perfection is an illusion, but Virgo's heart, gentle, devoted, endlessly healing, that's something real. And sometimes real is all the perfection we need. They smile. That soft, polite, almost perfect smile.
Yes.
The kind of smile that makes you believe everything is fine. And most of the time, that's exactly what Virgo wants you to believe. Because for Virgo, showing emotion feels dangerous. Vulnerability means losing control. And losing control, even for a second, feels like chaos. So, they hide it. The sadness, the disappointment, the quiet heartbreaks, all tucked away behind that calm, composed face. When Virgo is hurting, they don't cry in front of you. They clean their room. They do the dishes. They fix something that's broken, anything to remind themselves that they aren't. To them, emotions are private, sacred, and inconvenient. They've learned that the world doesn't always handle their sensitivity with care. So, they keep it inside. They say, "I'm fine," not because they don't feel, but because they feel too much. Inside that gentle exterior, there's a storm of emotions. Guilt, fear, tenderness, longing, love, all swirling in silence. But they'll never burden you with it. Virgo would rather carry their pain alone than risk making someone else uncomfortable. And in doing so, they build a quiet kind of loneliness, the kind that hides beneath the smile. At night, when the world finally stops demanding, they allow themselves to feel. They replay conversations, worry about words they didn't mean, or about the ones they never said. They overthink not because they don't trust others, but because they don't trust themselves not to hurt anyone. So, they build emotional walls disguised as responsibility. They hold it all in, telling themselves, "I can handle it." And they do, until they can't. When a Virgo finally breaks, it's silent. No drama, no anger, just quiet withdrawal. They disappear for a while, into their own world, trying to stitch their heart back together piece by piece. And when they return, no one even notices the difference, except maybe the softness in their eyes, a little dimmer than before. But here's the thing. Beneath all that restraint lies one of the deepest hearts in the zodiac. Virgo feels love in the smallest details, in remembering your favorite tea, in fixing what you didn't ask to fix, in showing up quietly when no one else does. They don't need grand gestures. They give love through service, precision, and care. And that's why their emotions are so hidden, because every feeling they have runs so deep, it terrifies them. The truth is, Virgo's calm is not emptiness, it's devotion. Their silence isn't indifference, it's protection. And their smile, it's both armor and apology. An armor that says, "I'm okay," and an apology that whispers, "I don't want to bother you." But if you look closely, if you stay long enough, you'll see the truth in their eyes. A heart that is loved too carefully, carried too much, and still chooses to care anyway. Because behind that perfect smile lives something rare, a soul that feels everything, and still believes in the beauty of trying again. There comes a moment in every Virgo's life when the exhaustion becomes louder than the perfection. When the endless fixing, organizing, and pleasing no longer brings peace, only emptiness. That's the beginning of healing. Because for Virgo, healing doesn't come from control. It begins when they finally stop running from the mess, when they sit with it, when they whisper to themselves, "Maybe I don't have to hold it all together anymore." For so long, Virgo believed that love had to be earned through effort, through precision, through sacrifice. They've been the quiet helpers, the ones who notice everything, the ones who never ask for much. But deep down, they've carried a wound, the fear that if they ever stopped giving, they'd stop being loved. Healing begins the moment Virgo realizes that love is not a reward, it's a birthright. They were never meant to be perfect. They were meant to be present. Virgo's heart heals in small ways, not through grand breakthroughs, but through subtle moments of grace. When they allow themselves to make a mistake and not spiral. When they leave something unfinished and still sleep peacefully. When they stop apologizing for their softness. They begin to see that peace is not found in flawless order, but in gentle acceptance. Acceptance of imperfection. Acceptance of emotions that can't be fixed. Acceptance of people who are still learning, just like they are. For Virgo, this is not easy. Their mind is sharp, always analyzing, always correcting, always thinking, how can I make this better? But healing asks them to do the opposite, to let things be. To understand that life doesn't need to be perfect to be beautiful. Sometimes healing looks like silence, not the heavy silence of sadness, but the peaceful one that comes after surrender. Sometimes it's a walk in the morning light, where they breathe and realize the world didn't fall apart just because they took a break. Sometimes it's a single thought. Maybe I am already enough. And that thought changes everything. When Virgo starts to love themselves without conditions, something magical happens. Their care becomes softer, their laughter more genuine, their presence lighter. They no longer fix to be loved, they love because it's who they are. They stop chasing perfection and start creating peace. They begin to trust that even when they don't do everything right, life still holds them. The universe doesn't demand their perfection, it celebrates their intention. To heal the Virgo heart is to teach it gentleness, to remind it that every flaw, every crack, every unpolished moment is proof of being alive. That their worth was never in how much they give, but in who they are when they stop trying so hard. And when they finally rest, truly rest, they rediscover the parts of themselves they had forgotten. The curiosity, the playfulness, the quiet joy of simply existing. They start to see beauty not just in order, but in chaos. Not just in completion, but in becoming. Because healing is not about reaching perfection. It's about learning to breathe again, even when things are uncertain. It's about forgiving themselves for all the times they demanded too much. It's about realizing that the person they've been trying to become was always inside them, waiting to be accepted. In the end, Virgo learns the hardest truth. They don't have to earn peace. They only have to allow it. And when they finally whisper, "I am enough," the universe whispers back, "You always were." The Virgo heart doesn't heal in noise or grand declarations. It heals quietly, in stillness, in kindness, in the soft rhythm of an exhale that finally feels free. Because the journey was never about being perfect. It was about coming home to themselves. And that is the most beautiful perfection of all.